My name is Mellissa Chang. I'm a research analyst at Good Jobs First. Today I'm going to walk you through our newest database, COVID Stimulus Watch. So in March and April of this year, Congress passed the CARES Act and a series of other bills to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. The most notable of these programs created by this legislation is the Paycheck Protection Program. But there are actually a substantial number of programs that were created through these pieces of legislation. Currently, COVID Stimulus Watch has 21 programs and counting, and you can see this here on our landing page. We have 21 programs, and right here is our summary statistics of everything that we have on the site. For most of the CARES Act programs, the funding was distributed either in grants or loans, and that's just the bulk of the programs that we have. However, we recently added some data on contracts. So with all of these funds being dispersed and these new programs being created, the federal agencies were tasked to do a lot more work in a lot less time. And so all of these pieces of legislation allocated money specifically to the agencies to help them expand services or buy additional equipment. So some of the things that you'll find here in the contracts section are HHS spending on ventilators and lab testing. You'll also find some of the big contracts on Operation Warp Speed, the vaccine development program. And we have a really robust site when it comes to CARES Act data collection, probably one of the most comprehensive, which definitely makes our site special. But part of the real value of our site is the parent matching that we do for these records. So our parent matching system, you can group together all of the subsidiaries of a company to get a better idea of how much money went to that company overall. And the other benefit of this is that the parent matching system allows us to connect to our other database called Violation Tracker, which monitors regulatory violations at the state and federal level. And we're able to pull a lot of that information in with our parent matching system. So to search through the awards, the easiest place to start is here with list of awards. So this page, if you scroll down, basically has every single entry in our database listed here. Obviously, we have, more than 21 programs, thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of records. So you'd obviously want to filter out this data. So you can start by searching by a company or parent. You can also filter by the parent sector. You can filter by the program. And then you can also filter by accountability issues. So if you scroll down, you'll see on the right side, parent pre-pandemic employees. We collected this information from SEC filings because a lot of the programs, particularly the PPP program, the loan forgiveness was contingent on keeping staff and not laying off employees. So we pulled some of this information where we could find it from the SEC filings. And then on the right, we have accountability issues. And these are taken from our violation tracker database. So first we have employment violations, we have tax and subsidy issues, we have government contract related issues, environmental penalties, consumer protection penalties, and CEO pay issues, which we also collected from SEC filings. If there was a huge disparity in the CEO's pay to the median employee's pay, then we flagged that. And then all of these other accountability issues will be marked red if a company has paid more than $1 million in one of these categories in the last 10 years. And so when you're searching, you can specify that you'd only want to see companies that have some sort of accountability issue. So this page is pretty straightforward. But if you wanted to do a more specific search or you had more criteria, you can do an advanced search and you can get to that page either here or here. these will take you to the same page. And on the advanced search page, there are two ways to search. So the first option is to look at summary pages. So because we have so much data and there are so many programs, we like to provide summaries of the programs and the agencies as a starting point for researchers or anybody else interested in this data. So you can get a summary of by agency. So for example, the Small Business Administration had more than one program. They had the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program and the Paycheck Protection Program. So if you wanted to see all of the awards, that the Small Business Administration had given out, you could see that on this summary page. So you can see that they've given out $493 billion in loans, $717 million in contracts, and the top parent companies all show up right here. And then beneath that, you'll have the individual award records. And so you can also get a summary by program, by the parent company, the sector, the headquarters, state, or country, because there are some international companies in this database, and then also by accountability issue. And so the second way to search on the advanced search page is with all of these different fields, basically every single field that we have in our database. So you can search by the company name. If you knew what it started with, you could do that. If you were looking for a company that contained any word with, services in it, you could search that way. And then you can also add in specific agencies, specific programs. For the parent sector, you can also search that way. And you can also search by NAICS code, which is the North American Industry Classification Code. But that's only available for the PPP program. And again, the parent headquarter location, accountability issues, you can search all of the text fields. So we have a notes section on the award pages. Sometimes it has additional details about the nature of the award, especially the contracts. And so you could search, vaccine or something like that. And then you can also filter and search by the grant value, the loan value, and the contract value. And then ownership, we've recently added information on charter schools and private schools that receive PPP loans. And so that can be searched by using the facility ownership category. We also have information on whether the company's employee-owned, government-owned, if it's a nonprofit, publicly traded, and you can search that way. And then we also have information on congressional districts. That's primarily for the PPP records. And then you can search by the type of award, and then state, city, zip code, and number of employees. And so I'll just do a quick search to show you what one of these pages looks like. So Menzies Aviation, we see that they have a $78 million grant and a $32 million loan from the Treasury Department, and the parent company is John Menzies PLC. So if we click on this individual award page, we'll see that this grant is from the Payroll Support Program. We always link to the data source for our awards. And then beneath that, you'll have information on the parent company. And you can find out that they're actually headquartered in the UK. And they do aviation services, and it has a summary of all of their accountability issues. And this is pulled from the parent. So whatever award you click on, since there were 2 awards for Menzies, on both pages, you'll see this aggregate accountability information. And then if we go back and we click on the parent, John Menzies PLC, we'll see both the grant and the loan. Again, the information on the parent location and ownership and sector accountability. And then underneath that, again, you'll have a list of all of the individual award records. And then here you can also download this information in CSV or Excel. And you can download this information here. You can download it on any of our search pages as well. And these files will give you way more information than what's right here. So it'll have more details about the location, the loan, the date, the lender. PPP loans also included information like demographic information like veteran status. And so that would also show up in the spreadsheet if you downloaded it. So the other way to navigate the website is by looking at programs. So here we have a list of all of the programs on the site. You'll see for some of these programs in parentheses, it will say 500,000 and up or 150,000 and up. For these in particular, it was probably done because they had a lot of records or they had a lot of records with a small amount of money. So the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, for example, did have a lot of loans for less than 150,000, and there were too many to include in the database. So for some of these, we have a cutoff. If you don't see anything in parentheses, that means that we've included everything that was in the data release. And so here we have the awards broken out into category, grant total, loan, and contract. Generally, each program only gives out one type of award, but for the payroll support program, for example, gave out both grants and loans. So that's why we have these separate columns for all of these award types. And then finally, we have this tab, the list of refunds. So on all of our search pages, you'll only find awards that were issued, especially with the PPP loans. After they were disclosed, a lot of companies were shamed into returning their loans. So when you search on our website, you won't see information on what's been returned. You'll have to come to this tab here for the refunds. And this has all of the refunds that we've been able to find. Some of this is reported by the agency. Some of this is from SEC filings. And this can be downloaded here. And you'll notice that we have a maximum download of 5,000 records for all of our search results. For the refund page, there are less than 5,000 refunds, so you can just download that and search the Excel file. That way, if you need a data pull that, if you're searching for a bigger program that, you need more than 5,000 records, you can contact me or someone else at Good Jobs First directly, and we can help you out with that. The limit isn't because we don't want people to have data. The limit is just to make sure the server doesn't break and that everyone can access it when they need to. And so basically that's COVID Stimulus Watch. The other part that I'll show you is our blog. This is where we post information about new data that's being released. We do a little bit of our own analysis before we post. And in these blogs, we like to point out things that were interesting or areas of concern. So if you are a researcher or a journalist, I'd encourage you to also check out these blog posts because, me and my colleague are the closest ones to this data. So we have a really good grasp of, what's odd, what's strange about it, what's interesting, and you could probably get a lot of ideas for research or articles here as well. And that's COVID Stimulus Watch. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or any of my colleagues at Good Jobs First.